I never thought my life would veer so wildly off course when I signed up for a routine space expedition. I was Alex Harper, a modest botanist from Earth with a deep interest in extraterrestrial plant life. I had little interest in intergalactic politics or the peculiar customs of alien species. But on our mission to the remote planet of Zorath, I found myself unexpectedly chosen by their Alien High Priestess for a ritual of reproduction. Yes, you heard that right. A ritual of reproduction. How did this come about, you wonder? Let me explain. It all started when our crew arrived on Zorath, a planet famed for its lush biodiversity and strikingly vivid purple vegetation. We were a team of 4 scientists from Earth, assigned to catalog and collect samples. We had just disembarked from the spacecraft when we were met by the Zorathians, the planet's native violet-skinned humanoids. They were an intriguing group with deep purple skin, tall builds, and radiant green eyes that seemed to see right through you. Leading them was a figure unlike any other, a tall, ethereal being with skin that shimmered like amethyst. She wore a revealing, ornate outfit and a flowing crown that gave her an almost regal appearance. Her presence commanded both awe and trepidation. She introduced herself as High Priestess Kaya, the spiritual leader of the Zorathians. "Welcome, Earth visitors," she said, her voice a melodious blend of authority and grace. "We have been expecting you." I stepped forward awkwardly, offering a polite nod. "Thank you, High Priestess Kaya. We're here to study the flora of your planet." "I am aware," Kaya interjected, her penetrating green eyes locking onto mine. A chill ran down my spine. "And you, Alex Harper, have been selected by the great Zorath Mother for a special purpose." I blinked. "Me? What special purpose?" The High Priestess's lips curved into a smile that sent a shiver through me. "You have been chosen for the sacred ritual of reproduction." For a moment, I thought I must have misheard her. I glanced at my crewmates, but they looked just as stunned as I was. "Ritual of reproduction?" I repeated, bewildered. "You mean like mating?" "Yes," Kaya replied simply, her smile widening. "You are to participate in the procreation of our species. It is a great honor." My crewmates stared at me, a mixture of shock and amusement on their faces. My cheeks flushed, and I attempted a laugh. Thanks, but I'm not exactly in the market for her." "It is not a request," Kaya said, stepping closer. "The great Zorath Mother has chosen you, and it must be done." I gulped. "Right, got it? So, how does this ritual work exactly?" The High Priestess's smile took on a more predatory edge. "You will find out soon enough." Before I could protest, a group of Zorathian warriors, each as imposing as a statue, stepped forward and gently but firmly took me by the arms. They guided me away from my crew, who watched with wide eyes. "Good luck, Alex," called out Sam, one of my crewmates, with a grin. "Make Earth proud." The Zorathian village was nestled deep within a forest of towering purple trees. The air was heavy with the fragrance of sweet blossoms and a strange musk that made my head spin. I was led to a large tent at the village's center, guarded by more warriors. Inside, the tent was softly illuminated by a blue glow from floating orbs. The floor was covered in plush silken cushions in various shades of blue and silver. At the room's center stood High Priestess Kaya, now dressed in an even more revealing, flowing garment that barely clung to her curves. Her powerful muscles were visible beneath her skin, and I had to admit she was strikingly beautiful in an intimidating way. "Alex Harper," she said, her voice a sultry purr, "the time has come to prepare you for the ritual." I swallowed hard, trying to maintain my composure. "Listen, Kaya, I'm flattered and all, but I'm not sure I'm ready for, whatever this is." Kaya chuckled softly. "Your readiness is irrelevant, human. You were chosen. The ritual must proceed." With a wave of her hand, a group of Zorathian females entered the tent, each as stunning as Kaya, but with varying shades of blue skin. They carried trays of exotic fruits and strange oils. "This is part of the preparation," Kaya explained. "You must consume these to be fully attuned to Zorathian ways." I eyed the fruits warily. One was bright red with spikes, another was green and pulsating as if alive. The oil shimmered with iridescent colors. "Well, when in Zorath," I muttered, picking up a spiky fruit. I took a hesitant bite, and my mouth was instantly filled with a burst of sweet, tangy flavor that sent a pleasant tingle through my body. The Zorathian females giggled as they watched me, whispering among themselves. Though I couldn't understand their language, their amusement at my unfamiliarity was clear. After I finished the fruits, Kaya approached with one of the shimmering vials. "Now the oils," she said softly. "They will awaken your senses, heighten your awareness, and prepare your body for the ritual." She poured a bit of oil in her palm and began rubbing it onto my skin. The effect was immediate. A warm, tingling sensation spread wherever her hands touched, making my skin hypersensitive. I could feel every tiny movement of her fingers as if she were tracing fire across my body. "Whoa," I gasped, my body reacting in unexpected ways. "What is this stuff?" Kaya smirked, her hands continuing their ministrations. "A special blend of Zorathian aphrodisiacs. It helps ensure that both participants are fully engaged in the ritual." I was pretty sure I was already engaged in more ways than one. My heart raced, my skin was alive with sensation, and a growing heat built deep inside me. I tried to focus, to maintain my composure, but it was becoming increasingly difficult. "Now we begin the ritual," Kaya announced, stepping back and signaling to the other females. They began to chant in low, rhythmic tones, their voices blending into a hauntingly beautiful harmony that seemed to resonate with the very air around us. As the chant grew louder, Kaya approached again, her eyes locked onto mine. "Do not fear, Alex Harper. This is a sacred act that will bind you to the Zorathians forever." "Yeah, no pressure," I muttered, trying to calm my racing heart. Kaya moved closer, her body pressing against mine. The sensation was electrifying. I could feel the heat of her skin and the soft brush of her breath against my cheek. "Now embrace me," she whispered. I hesitated for a moment, then slowly wrapped my arms around her. Her body was warm and firm, her muscles rippling beneath my touch. For a moment, I forgot where I was, who I was, lost in the intoxicating scent of her skin and the soft glow of the orbs around us. The chant reached a crescendo, and Kaya pulled back slightly, gazing deeply into my eyes. "Are you ready, Alex Harper, to fulfill the purpose you were chosen for?" I wasn't sure if I was ready for any of this, but something in her gaze told me there was no turning back. I nodded. "I guess so." With a slow, deliberate motion, Kaya guided my hands to her hips and leaned in closer. The air around us seemed to hum with energy, the blue glow of the orbs growing brighter. Just as our lips were about to meet, a loud crash sounded from outside the tent, followed by frantic shouting. The chant stopped abruptly, and the Zorathian females looked around in confusion. "What's happening?" I asked, my heart pounding. Kaya's expression darkened. "Intruders," she hissed. "Stay here, Alex Harper. I will handle this." Before I could protest, she slipped out of the tent like a shadow, followed by the other Zorathian females, leaving me alone in the dimly lit tent, still tingling from the effects of the oils. For a moment, I considered making a run for it, but something kept me rooted to the spot. Maybe it was the lingering sensation of Kaya's touch, or maybe it was the strange pull I felt toward her and the Zorathians. Whatever it was, I knew I couldn't just leave. Minutes passed, and the sounds of the commotion outside began to fade. Finally, Kaya returned, her robe slightly disheveled, but otherwise unharmed. "The threat has been dealt with," she said, her voice calm but firm. "We must continue the ritual." "What kind of threat are we talking about?" I asked, still feeling the adrenaline coursing through my veins. "Rival tribes," Kaya replied. "They seek to disrupt the ritual to prevent the procreation of our people, but they will not succeed." I nodded, still trying to process everything. "So, where were we?" Kaya's lips curled into a knowing smile. "Right here," she whispered, pressing herself against me once more. And just like that, we resumed where we left off. The chant began anew, the orbs glowed brighter, and the world outside the tent seemed to disappear. All that mattered was Kaya and the intense connection that had formed between us. As our lips finally met, I felt a surge of energy, a warmth that spread through my entire body. The ritual had begun, the mating ritual, and there was no turning back. The next morning, I awoke to find Kaya lying beside me, her eyes closed in peaceful slumber. The tent was quiet, the soft blue glow of the orb still casting gentle light on our intertwined bodies. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I had come to Zorath to study plants, and now I was apparently the father of a new generation of Zorathians. Well, this will make one hell of a story back on Earth. I muttered to myself, a small smile tugging at my lips. Alex Harper, intergalactic botanist and accidental alien baby daddy. Who would have thought? Kaya stirred beside me, her eyes fluttering open. She smiled softly, her hand reaching up to caress my cheek. "Thank you, Alex Harper," she whispered. "You have given us a great gift." I chuckled. "Yeah, just don't tell my mom, okay?" She laughed, a sound surprisingly warm and human. "Your secret is safe with me." So, in the heart of an alien world, I found myself bound to a new family, a new people, and a new purpose. It wasn't the life I had planned, but maybe, just maybe, it was the life I was meant for. The morning light filtered through the tent's fabric, casting soft blue hues across the space where Kaya and I lay. I was still trying to wrap my head around the previous day's events. I had gone from a botanist studying alien flora to a key participant in an interstellar ritual. I rolled over to face Kaya, who was now stirring awake, her eyes slowly opening to meet mine. "Good morning, Alex," she said with a serene smile. Her voice had a calming effect, easing the anxiety I felt about the situation. "Morning," I replied, attempting to sound casual despite the whirlwind of thoughts racing through my mind. Kaya stretched gracefully, her movements fluid and natural. The ritual was successful. "The great Zorath mother is pleased, right?" I said, rubbing my eyes. "I guess that's good news. So, what happens now?" Kaya's expression softened, and she sat up, her flowing garment draping elegantly around her. "Now, we begin the integration process. You will have a role in our society and the upbringing of the new generation." I nodded, still feeling a bit disoriented. "And what exactly will that role entail?" Kaya's eyes sparkled with warmth. "You will help us understand more about your world, your knowledge of Earth, and in return, we will teach you about Zorathian customs and ways. It is a partnership." As she spoke, a group of Zorathian women entered the tent, carrying breakfast. The aroma was a blend of sweet and exotic, and I realized how hungry I was. They set out a feast of colorful fruits, some familiar, others entirely alien, and various pastries that looked both enticing and peculiar. "Please eat," Kaya encouraged, gesturing to the spread. "You need strength for the tasks ahead." I accepted a plate and began sampling the food. It was delicious, the flavors a delightful mix of sweet and tangy with hints of spices I couldn't quite identify. As I ate, I glanced around the tent, noting the intricate patterns on the cushions and the soft, otherworldly glow of the orbs that lit the space. The atmosphere was both comforting and alien. "After breakfast, we will take a tour of the village," Kaya said. "You will meet some of the other key figures in our community and learn about our ways." The prospect of exploring the village was intriguing. I was eager to understand more about the Zorathians and their culture. I finished my meal and followed Kaya outside, where the day's light revealed the true splendor of the Zorathian world. The village was even more impressive in the daylight. The towering purple trees formed a natural canopy, their leaves shimmering in hues of blue and green. The structures of the village were crafted from a blend of natural materials and advanced technology, seamlessly integrated into the environment. Everything had an organic, fluid design, reflecting the Zorathians' deep connection to their planet. Kaya led me through winding paths and open areas where Zorathians went about their daily routines. I observed artisans weaving intricate patterns with luminescent fibers, farmers tending to plants with bioluminescent properties, and children playing with what seemed like floating, iridescent orbs. "This is our marketplace," Kaya explained, stopping in a bustling area filled with vendors selling various goods. "Here, we trade goods, share news, and celebrate our community." As we walked, several Zorathians greeted Kaya with nods and smiles, their eyes reflecting genuine curiosity and warmth toward me. I began to feel a growing sense of belonging, though it was tinged with the uncertainty of my new role. We continued the tour, eventually reaching a large structure at the edge of the village, a place that seemed to serve as both a communal gathering spot and a ceremonial hall. Inside, the space was adorned with intricate murals depicting Zorathian history and culture. "This is the Hall of Ancestors," Kaya said. "Here, we honor our past and seek guidance from the spirits of our forebears. It is also where you will participate in the next phase of your integration." "What kind of participation?" I asked. Kaya's eyes twinkled with a hint of mischief. "You will assist in an important ceremony that involves sharing knowledge between our peoples. It will be a way for you to contribute to the community while learning more about us." I was intrigued by the idea. "I'd be happy to help. What do I need to do?" Kaya smiled. "We will provide you with the details as the time approaches. For now, enjoy the village, make connections, and begin to understand your place here." As the day progressed, I found myself immersed in the daily life of the Zorathians. I interacted with various members of the community, learning about their customs, values, and the ways in which they lived harmoniously with their environment. I even participated in some lighthearted activities, including a game involving floating orbs that tested my reflexes. By the end of the day, I was both exhausted and exhilarated. The Zorathian way of life was so different from anything I had known, yet there was something profoundly beautiful about their connection to their world and each other. Returning to my quarters, I found a new sense of purpose. My initial shock and hesitation were giving way to a growing curiosity and commitment to this new chapter in my life. I was still adjusting, still trying to reconcile my previous life with the unexpected role I now played, but there was a sense of adventure and discovery that I found deeply compelling. As I settled down for the night, I reflected on the day's experiences. The Zorathians had welcomed me into their world with open arms, and though the path ahead was uncertain, I felt a strange but undeniable sense of belonging. "Maybe this is where I'm meant to be," I thought, closing my eyes and drifting into sleep. The next chapter of my journey had only just begun, and I was eager to see where it would lead.